Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Savi's latest edition webinar, Harnessing the Power of Digital Out of Home and Mobile Coupons. My name is Steve Smith. I head up our UK business, and I'm your host for today's session. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to spend time with us. Confident it's going to be time well spent today. Before we get started, need to cover off a bit of boring housekeeping. Please, can everyone keep their microphones muted, so not to avoid distraction of our speakers. There will be a Q&A at the end of the session, so if you do have any questions throughout, please use the chat function on the screens. If you do encounter any technical issues, please email us at info@savi.co.uk. The URL will also be in the chat for you. Today's session is being recorded and it will be available after the webinar, so no need to kind of scribble down lots of notes. We will also be sending that out alongside a short survey, which we really appreciate your feedback on, as it helps improve future content. I must admit, I am really excited about today's agenda. We've got two solutions that are breaking new ground in their own right, but not only will you get to hear about both of those individually, you're also going to get to hear about the combined superpower of those solutions, which provides brands with a truly unique full funnel solution. I'll shortly be handing over to our guest speakers for today from do.com and Savi UK. Firstly, let me give a warm welcome to our friends and partners at do.com. We are joined today by Andrew Newnham, the CEO and founder, and Stephen Dennison, the creative business director. Great to have you both with us today, even though we're actually in your offices. So thank you for hosting us here. Joining them is our very own Helen Davis, Senior Business Development Manager at Savi, who's leading the charge on Savi's new mobile coupon solution, and working closely with do.com on our joint venture. So without further ado, what is on today's agenda? After you've heard from me, I'll be handing over the reins to Helen, who'll be talking about opportunities for brands with our mobile coupon solution. I'll then be handing over to Andrew and Stephen to talk about the rise of dynamic digital out of home. We'll then be moving into our case study on Coca-Cola Take a Taste campaign, multi-award-winning campaign that was run last year, and also followed up with another one this year. And then we'll be moving on to Stephen, who will be talking us through Redeem, which is the powerful fusion of mobile coupons and digital out of home. And as I said, at the end, we'll be finishing with a quick Q&A. Anything we don't cover off in terms of questions, we will follow up after the event, so don't worry about that. Okay, quick blurb about Savi and who we are. We've got a long history around coupons and marketing incentives. We've been going through a big transformation in recent times, developing new digital and mobile solutions. Our mission at Savi is to make marketing incentives work for everyone, and we do that by connecting shoppers, brands, and retailers. We influence purchase decisions by enabling brands to set up, manage, and distribute marketing incentives for shoppers. We enable shoppers to access and redeem those offers. And from a retailer perspective, we enhance the shopping experience by giving more value to their customers while driving an incremental footfall and sales. Enough of the sales pitch, into today's content. Well, almost. Before we get started, I thought I would just share some insights with you that are hot off the press from our latest consumer poll. Don't know if you remember last webinar where we were talking about the evolution of coupons from print to mobile. I thought it was really interesting to see that we are, in this poll and the insights, we're really seeing the demand for mobile coupons and the power of them to influence behavior come through. Some really interesting stats that I've picked up here. Number one being that coupons continues to be the dominant promotional mechanic that shoppers love to interact and engage with. A whopping 68% of shoppers say that they would actually consider switching retailers if they couldn't actually use those coupons in store. Where we're seeing a lot of the growth, particularly in mobile coupons, is around it being used to drive MPD. You can see there 76% of shoppers saying that they would use it to try a new product. And 2/3 of shoppers are now using mobile coupons on a smartphone, which is really interesting to see. But the bit that sticks out for me this time round, making an appearance in the poll, is the way in which shoppers are actually interacting with mobile coupons, particularly younger demographics like Gen Z age groups. And here we're seeing that they are wanting to receive mobile coupons through scanning a QR code through out of home. And I think that's a really nice segue in today's content and makes it feel like it's the right thing for us to be discussing here and now. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Helen to talk more about mobile coupons.
Thanks, Steve, and good morning, everyone. Yeah, so I want to just give you a bit of a background around the opportunities that there are for brands with, with mobile coupons. We've heard a lot of stats there from Steve, but one of them that particularly, not least, is that 60% of people use their smartphone to redeem a coupon in store. So what I thought we'd do is go through some of those opportunities now. Now you can see some of the reasons and the key features on this slide, but they're not exhaustive. The things that are different between a printed coupon, traditionally printed coupon, and a mobile coupon is that we can track and control campaigns much more succinctly than we could do with a printed coupon, that when it's out in the marketplace, we don't know what's happening to it. We can gather real-time insight and real understanding right down to the minute of how many coupons have been activated in any given campaign. We've put measures in place as well to be able to make sure that that coupon is safe and secure. So we have things like movable barcodes that mitigate the chance of it being screen grabbed and used and passed on. We've got countdown timers that we use to limit the amount of time that a coupon can be used. And we've also got a lot more reports, metrics that we can use to really be able to understand and get under the teeth about how these coupons are being used. For example, we can now understand what day of week a coupon has been used, what time of day that coupon has been used, and importantly, all the way down to store level data of what particular store that coupon has, how many redemptions have come from a particular store. That really works in connection with out of home as well, because when you're considering to do a campaign, you can understand where to put your out of home digital screens versus where you'll see the highest redemptions in a particular store level, for example. Excuse me, frog in my throat. We can also tell from different POS types. So you can have a different QR code for an out of home than you do for a social media, than you do for an in-store piece of POS. And we can track those different metrics as well. So you're getting a lot more detailed data back from the campaigns that you ever were before. Lastly, for the shopper, it's also really convenient. It's immediate. You scan a QR code, you get that coupon in your hand straight away. For us and for them, it's also a sustainable solution. We know that digital attracts new customers, and we can specifically target your customers with certain particular coupons. I just thought it would be good to give you an update on where coupons can be redeemed. So when we first launched mobile coupons a year ago, Tesco were the only place that essentially would accept them. Within the last 12 months, we've grown this. So now, as you can see, Morrison's are accepting digital mobile coupons. The Co-op are accepting mobile coupons, as well as Premier, Londis and Budgens as well. We've also run individual campaigns with restaurants and with pub chains. So the the question for you, or the thought for you, would be, if you do have a campaign that you did want to run in a particular area, as long as the retailer or the chain is willing to accept that digital coupon, then we have the ability to make that happen. And then lastly, I just wanted to take you through a few of the different campaigns that we've run over the last 12 months, and the differences that mobile coupons can be used for. So I'll just go through them for you here. So the first one, the Diet Coke campaign. Now, this campaign was a in-store only campaign. So there was a QR code on ski arms. The discount was for a 2-litre bottle of Diet Coke. And we saw there was a very seamless journey. So scan that QR code in store and you received the mobile coupon directly. There was no data capture involved. What we found with that is that there was very high redemption rates. They're in store, they're in shopper mode, they're not having to give any data. They pick up their bottle and away they go. So we saw redemption figures of around 62%. The next one that I wanted to talk about was an out of home that we did with Starbucks. This was a static out of home, so it was just on 6 sheets, just a flat static image, offering that, scan that QR code, offering that discount. Again, the discount was a free 250 milliliter bottle of their ready to drinks. And that yielded above average redemption rates of around 44%. It's worth noting here that you'll notice on all of these, the offer was for a free product. Now, that doesn't have to be the case. We can help you and work with you to understand what would constitute the best. But as you probably all guess, a free product is often more popular than anything else. The third one that I have here for you is Smug. And with Smug, they had some, it was a new oat drink that they wanted to get out. So it was a piece of NPD. They wanted to get out into the marketplace. And what they used predominantly for this campaign was all on their socials and social influences. For those of you out there that have heard of Lad Baby, they were a very, very popular social influencer. They did a piece to camera, put it onto their socials, and then there was a link in their socials to go and claim this free 2-litre product. And again, that yielded 37%, and all of their coupons were used up within 5 days. So it was a really, really popular campaign. Lastly, we've got Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. I won't take away Andrew's thunder on that one, because we're going to go into it in more detail. But this one was just to give you an example of not only another out of home, but this time an interactive out of home coupled with social media. And as you'll see moving forward, exceeded all expectations in the results, which you'll see coming up shortly. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen. So who is Do.com? So we're a production studio specialising in all things digital out of home. One of our core areas is dynamic digital out of home, or DCO, which unlocks the ability for brands to make their outdoor campaigns work much harder. So what is dynamic digital out of home? So that's basically offers advertisers to use data to personalise and adapt their content, what is displayed on screens. Through the use of audience planning and insight twinned with other data triggers, such as things like weather, time or location, we can deliver ads which are much more contextually relevant for consumers. I've chosen a handful of campaigns here, just some examples you can see, so including things like city call-outs, through to signposting to retail stores. We can even use things like live data or even AI to generate suggestions, putting in weather and lunch suggestions here, which you can see for the Gemini example. There are also opportunities for brands to use first-party client data as part of their ads, providing utility for consumers through things like live departure times or arrivals at airports, and displaying the next train times in different languages. And all of these are opportunities for brands to elevate their creative, and the opportunities are absolutely limitless. So we have a suite of different solutions available to brands, from flexing schedules and time of day through to being able to have really, really detailed information on a site-by-site basis, allowing us to schedule different creative to different locations. We can also use location-based messaging, which is a great way to signpost consumers to nearby bricks and mortar retailers, or even the use of data or blending of all of these to create sophisticated campaigns that are much more contextually relevant. And most recently, as Helen mentioned, the launch of Redeem, which is our partnership with Savi, allowing us to offer the gateway to retail redemption throughout home, and which we'll run through in more detail later on. Dynamic is also really effective. Meta-analysis across multiple effectiveness studies, each of which monitored the link between in-store sales and the use or absence of digital out-of-home, demonstrated on average a 16% sales uplift. Out-of-home is also a really great medium for driving footfall, with some categories using a dynamic location call-out, driving up to a 70% increase in visitation. Dynamic's not new. We've been creating these campaigns for more than 10 years. However, we're still seeing huge demand from brands, with over 53% growth in 2023, with over 10% of campaigns through our partners at Group M Out of Home using some form of dynamic messaging. We also know that brands who currently don't use dynamic would consider using it in the future when aligned with the right brief. And last of all, this effectiveness is rewarded through more than 300 awards for campaigns across the last decade. For some of our biggest brand partners, these form over half of their campaigns. And over to Helen.
Me, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, me. Yeah, hello. Thank you, Stephen. So why is dynamic so important? We use dynamic content, or our ability to dynamically take live control, if you like, of out-of-home screens across the country, specifically for this campaign in a completely new way. This is the first time that we decided to try and take control of every screen across the JCDecaux network, and we worked with them for 8 months to build a whole new piece of technology where every single phone could take control of a screen that was in front of them. We took this to the brand managers at Coca-Cola, who they introduced us to Savi, and we came up with a brief. Essentially, this technology, this invention, created its own brief, and the brief was to grow an existing Gen Z audience in what is an oversaturated market for drinks. The problem is Gen Z increasingly consuming emerging brands. So Coke wasn't as top of their list as they would like. The solution, we said, was to invent this new product called Connect, which connects a phone to a screen. It's now evolved into Redeem, but they would use that to capture Gen Z's attention and re-establish Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. We did that by driving to trial via a creative experience delivered through this tech innovation that I've just been describing. I'll stop talking for a moment. I'm going to go straight into the film now. This is the award entry film, really well crafted. It will tell you the whole story. So turn your speakers up or put your headphones in, and I'll be back with you after this little video.
Imagine being able to take something you love out of a screen and it being real. Now imagine that something being Coca-Cola, a 20th century cultural icon. But tell that to 21st century Gen Zs. You know, the ones who love social media but don't love social media advertising. Well, they're missing out because Coca-Cola Zero Sugar tastes so good. We know that when people try it, they love it. All we needed Gen Zs to do was get them to take that first taste. And when we say take it, we mean literally. We created a way for them to take a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar bottle out of a poster and exchange it for a real one in store for free.
Step 1, locate a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar screen. Here's one I made earlier.
Scan the QR code and then enjoy grabbing it off the screen. Woohoo!
After that, just select the store that you want to claim at. I'm going to select Tesco. So as you can see here, it's just giving me my barcode. Let's go and claim it.
Easy as that to take a taste in a city near you.
This was Out of Home reimagined as a mass sampling channel. And if that wasn't enough, we even recreated the spectacle at Piccadilly Circus, where giant 3D ads responded to your touch, controlling the bottle on the giant screen before you grab it. For a Gen Z audience glued to their phones, this hands-on merger of the physical and digital was spectacular, and so were the results. Redemption records shattered, Gen Z's approval skyrocketing, and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar was hailed as the coolest sip in town. The most cutting-edge mobile and digital outdoor innovation anywhere on the planet, taken to the masses by one of the world's biggest brands. Best Coke ever? Just take a taste to find out.
Okay, thank you. So that was our film that we entered for a number of awards, and we're really pleased we have actually won a clutch of awards so far this year. I wanted to take you through building the funnel. Building the funnel, because of course the redemption rates can be excellent. Helen's taken you through some amazing redemption rates, but of course it's about scale. Of course, you need to drive consumer interest at the top of the funnel and get those numbers as big as you can to get the redemption numbers as big as you can on redemption. So as mentioned, we built a bilateral interactive mobile to screen world-first solution to control all of these screens from your mobile phone. But of course, you need a media plan. This map here represents the size and scale of the media plan. We're across all of the major cities across the UK and more. That media plan then led into us delivering this creative. We produced 3D creative actually on these screens. You can see it there popping out the screen. 3D content creation is known to increase effectiveness and recall by 2.5% compared to its linear partner. QR codes, now they are synonymous these days. So we're now getting into the awareness, gone through the awareness funnel in terms of the out-of-home plan, and we're getting into the interest stage. So again, if you can capture that interest with a wonderful offer like a free bottle of Coke and give them a QR code, as we know, QR codes are now, the uptake is really quite high. They are literally all over the place. But what are you going to do with that QR code once you scan it? The important thing is to keep people interactive with the campaign, give them some kind of reward. In this case, it was a virtual bottle of Coca-Cola zero sugar. Put your hand out and it enters into your hand. Again, this was a media first. This technology of landing an AR bottle into your hand had just been released, rather timely, and we're very pleased about it. But importantly, this isn't just an out-of-home campaign. This is a social media campaign as well. Yes, use out-of-home because it's really trusted. It is, if you want the results or research in terms of how trusted it is, please reach out and we can provide it to you. But out-of-home is the most trusted channel. Why? Well, you can't lie in public. You can't literally say 3 bottles of Coke out there on the street. You can't lie in public. So we have paid for social media influencer marketing alongside, what this also picked up was a lot of earned PR. This earned PR was picked up by 38 different outlets, not paid for, earned. Get that traction and out of home, make it famous on social media, and you'll get the natural pickup in terms of earned PR. Now, of course, you've now captured your interest. You want to drive them through to a decision point. You're on your mobile phone after you've had that AR bottle, and let's make it super simple. Let's give them a map, pip your store, so it's easy to drive people to the store that's hopefully around the corner, or you can save it in return for later. That was the uptake was massive, and I'll go into the figures in a second, but it drove action. So quite simply, real simple activation from on your mobile, whether it captured your interest in out of home or on social, and it drove you straight to store in a very simple and clever way. What are the stats like? Okay, let's go through that funnel again. In terms of the campaign results, just over 300,000 people took part in our campaign because it was, of course, it was a compelling offer. And we were broadcasting the message at scale on trusted out of home, and again making sure that you use that trusted out of home message but put it on social media and then it's believed. Going through to the interest level, only a small drop off there, and they went through that AR brand experience, as in that captured experience to deliver that Coke bottle onto your hand. 40-60% split there between out of home and social. Small drop off, down, but still retaining 63% of people as they go to make that decision. They're now in the map and they are driving their decision to actually go to store. So out of those 173,000 people that went through that map and downloaded that barcode, took action, and they went into store, and just over 118,000 people actually traded in that barcode, that digital barcode, frictionlessly at the checkout. That's why one of this campaign is lauded as one of the most successful campaigns, redemption campaigns that's ever been done. Not just because of the 68% redemption number, but the number of people, just under 120,000. It's absolutely huge. So we found a new way to marry together out of home and redemption. That's of course why we've partnered with our friends at Savi. But there's something really interesting about this campaign as well. We did independent market research in terms of how much would it shift the needle in terms of brand awareness and brand health statements. So let's have a quick look at that before we jump on, and Stephen's going to tell you about Redeem and how it's now being launched to market so you can take advantage of it. But the results are that out of the 68%, of course, as we know, that's the redemption figure of the number of people that redeem that digital barcode. We did pay for social media, 32 million. That was the impressions on paid social media. And we reached 30 million people in out of home through that media plan. In terms of the increase from a percentage, we increased by 26%. So from our research group of 400 people, there was an increase in 26% that would recommend Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Anything that you can get into the double digits and above 20 is amazing. Well, actually it increased even more in the likelihood to choose Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. That percentage that increase was 37%. The actual increase in consideration was even higher, that they would consider buying a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. That increased by 53%. Again, these figures are really quite outstanding. One of the most important figures, of course, and we were tasked at the beginning with the brief, was how can we shift that perception with Gen Z? And would they actually go as far to say that this is the best Coke ever? And they did. That increased by 25%. So Gen Z, their perception or their increase, and they agreed with the statement, is the best Coke ever. And that was our ultimate goal. So job done there. But I'm going to hand over now back to Stephen, back into his capable hands. And he's going to tell you, we've been working, this campaign, of course, was done last year, back in September. And we saw it again in September this year. But we've now packaged it up into a product called Redeem. And now it's available for you to enjoy. Stephen.
Thanks, Andrew. So Redeem is our new product offering. It allows us to provide consumers with a really, really simple and frictionless way to offer and claim redemption coupons through digital out of home. The consumers who see the out of home ad are presented with a clear call to action. They simply scan the QR code on screen through their mobile device and are taken to a landing page launching the digital coupon. The simple user journey as seen here with the Starbucks campaign that Helen mentioned allows a fully integrated and accountable way for consumers to engage with the brand. From scanning the code through to redemption being logged at each step of the way, allowing full control. And you can see here all of the different stages of the journey from scan through to actually the consumer having the code on their phone. By enhancing the digital out of home, we can also increase the opportunities for brands to elevate their campaign. You can see some proactive examples here for including things like Helen mentioned with countdowns on the mobile phone. We can replicate these on the digital out of home screen as well. We can also use location, so to direct consumers to the nearest participating retailers, to each individual screen by including this dynamic call out. As you can see here, the example, we actually use Google Maps and API to reference every individual screen with specific stores that are stocking the particular product. And that allows us to display on screen the kind of walking time or driving time to that location, as well as things like an address or a store name. We can also include a live countdown, so that can be things to, how long the campaign's running for, or how long the coupons are valid for, or when the offer ends, for example. So again, really great way to create a sense of FOMO within the campaign. And then finally, we can use the redemption data from Savi to count down each of the interactions displayed using the redeemed coupons or quantity of vouchers still available, for example. Again, that sense of FOMO with a dynamic overlay on screen. So you can see here an example with counting down the number of scans left for consumers to engage with. Clients also have full control of the campaign. So we have the ability through the dynamic file to pause the call to action message should things like the redemption numbers be reached, or whether a brand has, the event of a lack of stock availability in a specific geographical area or particular stores. That is a complete full control. And we can even change the on-screen creative once the user scans that message using our Connect technology. So that offers an instant reward for a consumer with an acknowledgement message, like we saw with Coca-Cola, where you scan it, like congratulations appears on screen. So with out of home, it's a place-based medium, so it's all about location, making sure that we display these interactive ads in the most appropriate environments for shoppers to engage. Malls are a great environment, and they're about reaching shoppers whilst in that shopping mindset. They index really highly with family audiences and have a great dwell time. Roadside D6s offer huge frequency on our high streets across the country, with broadcast reach and dwell on sites for consumers waiting in bus shelters, for example. And rail is about upmarket audiences, again with commuters and high frequency, with the ads being seen on a regular basis. So all of these are ideal locations for this sort of technology to be run. Using the microsite as well, this offers even more enhanced mobile experiences for consumers. So once they've taken that scanned QR code and they're in their mobile phone in their hand, we can again offer things like directional messaging to the nearest retailer. You can see here we had AR maps. There can be rich mobile experiences or AR content. So as Andrew showed in the videos, a clip here, you hold your hand out and a Coca-Cola bottle appears on your hand. But there's also the opportunity for brands to use data capture. So whether that's filling in information or capturing information about what consumers like, surveys, or even just adding on to mailing lists, it's a great way to capture that information while consumers are having that fun mobile experience. So over to Helen.
Yeah, and just to add to that, so we're constantly adding features to our mobile. We listen to our customers and our clients, and we are analysing all of the campaigns that we've done. So some things that you've probably seen already, things like the retailer selector that we have. A feature that we've added that some of you may not have seen from the last time that you've worked with us, is that we've added a new feature called Tap to Activate. Now, we've done that because previously they would scan the coupon, they'd enter their details. Once they were fed that coupon, the timer would essentially start. And now that person might be out of home, they might be at home, they might not be essentially in store ready to activate that coupon. So what we've put in place is a simple screen that says, make sure you are ready in store with the product. When you are ready, then you can hit that button, tap to activate. And we found that's really, really helped to increase activation to redemption levels. So that's one feature. Second feature, and we've mentioned it previously, but it's quite a cool feature with this countdown timer. I don't know if you'll be able to quite see it on the screen, but just underneath the barcode, we can see there is it's a color banner that changes color as the timer goes down. So it starts off green, it then goes to orange, and when you're nearing the time that your coupon's about to expire, it'll turn to red. So they're just a couple of things that we're constantly adding new features into our mobile coupons to better the experience and better the redemption rates. And then lastly, I suppose it's just for
That is. I think it's all of us.
Thank
Thank you, Helen. I suppose I'm going to start saying, but that Redeem is almost 2 years in the making. It's been trialed and tested by the biggest brand in the world twice. They of course the success rates were so huge last year that they came back for a second one, Take a Taste 2. I love a follow-up film.
Absolutely.
I think
the sequel's probably better.
Well, not always, but this one was, because the redemption rates did go up slightly. They did go up. So just in terms of, do you want to do the Savi side first? Yeah, and Stephen, you can do the do.com side, and then we'll come together for the central bit.
Yeah, just essentially, I think that this partnership works really well for us. As you guys know, Savi, we have been around for a long time, 50+ years. We've been doing coupon management. And with that, we are the conduit between the brands and the retailers. So essentially, we've got very good relationships with the retailers. We know all of you brands that are out there. And we've run these campaigns for many years, dealing with the redemptions and the settlements with the retailers. So that's what we bring to the table.
Stephen?
So we've obviously got 10 years of at-home experience. We've got great relationships with planning and buying. So that allows us to, you know, as I said, buy the best environments for this sort of campaign. We've also got great experience in out-of-home production, mobile innovation and AR production, as well as all things digital innovation in out-of-home too.
And then together, as mentioned, we've got proven market leading redemption system that does deliver results. We can prove that with the biggest brand of the world. It does give us a single full funnel solution. What I mean by that, we are driving audience at scale with an out-of-home plan. We recommend taking that out-of-home creative into social media as well, which we can manage for you as well, and deliver, of course, with high redemption results, because we're working with Savi and their close relationships with all the retailers. So we'll drive that footfall to bricks and mortar stores. We do the whole end-to-end campaign management together with Savi, so we can give you all the results and tracking and live results through the whole campaign. It will end up driving sales, and it is incredibly brand safe, and it uses a trusted media. So I should have given you the heads up, but please have some think of questions. Otherwise, I'm going to ask everyone else to give us questions. So I'm going to turn my speaker up, or if anyone has written any questions down, or if anyone wants to turn off their mute button and ask a question. In fact, I'm going to ask Stephen, what question would you like to ask first, and then we can hand to our audience.
We do have a few questions.
We do.
Yeah,
we do. Fantastic.
So couple have been came in before the session, so we'll cover those off first.
Okay.
You know, first of the post and all that, and then we'll get into the chat and see if anyone else speaks up on the audio. So first question, probably one for Savi and for do.com, is around what's the setup for Redeem? You know, is it a longer setup? Is it normal setup? Like, how does that work?
Stephen, you want to do time?
So yeah, for us, it would be very much around kind of the standard booking lead times with buying out of home. So it's great if you've already got an out of home campaign bought and booked. That helps us massively. But generally, like, the production for this sort of thing is around sort of 4 weeks plus. So the longer time we have, the better. So obviously, please consider planning deadlines. But yeah, from a production perspective, we're pretty flexible from around 4 weeks.
And exactly the same for us, really. So we can set up and have a coupon, mobile coupon ready, and obviously working concurrently with the do.com team. The longest lead time for us is getting that set up with the retailers. So getting your specific coupon set up. So we ask for 4. We've done it in less. With the more time that we have, the better. But 4 weeks, absolutely, we can do it in.
Great. Okay. Next one was, can you track performance and analyze the campaign afterwards?
Question to both of you. Stephen, do you want to do campaign performance from an out-of-home perspective?
Yeah, so we are able to have full visibility of the out-of-home campaign. So we could track plays to a screen level across the entire ad campaign itself. So we're able to report back on that. Each of the different metrics as part of the out-of-home element. So every time a screen is scanned, we can record the scan, again, the time, screen, location of each scan. And then obviously, once that mobile experience is logged, any microsite or data capture, it is logged at each point of the way, which we then hand over to Savi for the coupon side of things.
Yeah, and I suppose the direct feedback on performance is sales. So the number of redemptions that a campaign yields is a direct number of sales for that brand. So that would be the number one performance metric. But as I've mentioned earlier on, we have lots and lots of other metrics that we can understand down to in that funnel, where people have seen something, where they've then activated, where they've gone through to redeem, whereabouts in the country, what time of day, all of those types of things that we can look at. So we can track level of performance. What I'm really interested, or what I think is an exciting thing, is being able to track where a 6 sheet is in, for example, in a bull ring versus where that Tesco Express in the bull ring is, and being able to measure the direct correlation between
It's really
seeing
powerful.
that advert and then seeing how many redemptions were at a certain store nearby.
Has that ever been an opportunity in the past?
Yes,
The word
we
redemption?
we have done that. So I've worked with being able to see these are where our 6 sheets were,
Yeah.
and these are where our highest redemptions were, down to city. And I think we could get more granular. It depends on the data that we receive, but absolutely, yeah, we can get down to store level data, and we can get down to.
But now we can react to that as well, can't we? So if we want to change our campaign creative, we want to update it. If we want to release more coupons, or the coupons are all gone, as you were saying, Stephen, we can change that creative. So you are essentially in line publishing control of your campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is that data is not just available after the campaign, it's available during the campaign.
Yes.
Right.
In flight.
But yeah, lots of data, lots of analysis, often paralysis, but we've got lots of data.
Next question.
Yeah, the next question I'm going to take. It's a really good question. I wonder if someone at Savi's maybe planted it. And actually, someone's actually followed up with a question off the back of it. So please jump in, Helen, if you've got anything to add. But the question was, within the coupon QR codes on out of home, were all the redemptions direct from there, or could the QR codes be shared wider? E.g., do you have control over this with things being shared onto discounter websites like Hot Deals? So majority of the redemptions from this first campaign came direct, not via deal sites. And actually the second campaign went through the Coca-Cola app, so they were all direct. I think it's important to note that when you're putting an above the line campaign out there into the market, it is essentially public. Anyone can pick that up, like the deal sites. However, obviously this is new technology, and as I said earlier, we're breaking new ground and we're learning all the time, and we're evolving the solutions to meet the needs, not just of shoppers, but also of brands and retailers. On a savvy side, one of the things that we've done or built recently is around a blocking capability to these coupons. So if a deal site picks up the coupon, we can essentially block that deal site from activating that offer on our landing page or the brand's landing page. So we have now put that capability in place. However, that offer is still there in the marketplace, so a shopper can still go and find it, but they'll have to find it through the means by which the brands put it into the marketplace and how they want the consumer to engage with it. I guess on top of that, we've also built relationships with the likes of Hot Deals UK. And we do talk to them about campaigns that are running. But actually, some brands actually want the campaign put onto these deal sites, because some of the smaller brands that maybe don't have the budgets to kind of run bigger above the line campaigns, they want to drive more awareness. It's just a great place to put an offer out there. So we're actually finding brands coming to us saying, can you get us onto these places, and others.
I mean, we found that
saying, can you take it off?
Yeah,
and we can do both.
We can do both. We got that flexibility. We can do both. But if your offer is famous almost, so, out of home, the channel, as I said, is trusted. It's an announcement and broadcast medium, but it's a medium of truth where you know that the deal is real. Unlike some deals, of course, that you might just receive on your phone every day, and then you question whether the validity of them. But if your campaign is out there and out of home, it's almost famous. And PR and news outlets want to pick it up.
I suppose I would add to that, anything that's on an out of home screen. So any of the scans that were scanned from that out of home screen are direct redemptions from that out of home.
Yeah.
We also did for that Coke campaign and many others, they also are on social. So if they are on anything that's on the computer, that it's on a website or a microsite or on a social, then as Steve has mentioned, there is the chance that these sites will scrape them and be able to put them on them. But it's absolutely that. One of the key things is having that conversation up front at the beginning of a campaign. What do you want to do about those sites? Are you happy for them to be on there, or would you prefer them not to be on there?
Yep.
And we can then help you with that. As Steve says, we've built technology around that as well.
And then there was another question following on from that around what are the brand safety measures that are in place, can be set up to avoid fraudulent use and overuse of coupons. Can each coupon have a different barcode and be limited to only being redeemed once? The short answer to that is yes. Helen covered off some of that earlier. So you've seen we've got some proprietary technology on the barcode, which is a revolving barcode, which can't be picked up to the human eye, but can be picked up by the point of sale. And that we find is working well, both from shoppers, brands, and retailers. And we do have the ability to cap the coupons as well. So we can set caps at the retailer. So only to kind of accept so many redemptions. We can also cap the distribution in terms of the amount of links that are being pulled every time someone scans a QR code. And we can also set caps on the activations, and we can do that down to a daily limit. So we have the controls in place, and we can dial those up and down according to what the brand wants to do.
And I would just echo that they are unique codes. They could be completely unique links for each individual. They are dynamic and moving barcodes. Even if somebody shared the link that they received with their friends, for example, the first person to use that link out of the person and the person they've shared it with, then that coupon will become, it's a one-time only use coupon, essentially. I said that in a very long
Well, that was
way.
good.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. I'm going to write that
Yeah.
down. One-time use.
One-time use coupon.
And again, with the dynamic part, we can cap or control or switch off from an out of home, from a source perspective, switch the ad off to remove the CTA from the screen itself. So that allows kind of, the stopping of the campaign.
Yeah.
The QR code that appears on the digital out of home screen. Again, if you use the Connect technology, that allows us to have a dynamic barcode, a dynamic QR code, which again is once it's scanned, it's kind of refreshed, and then you get a different coupon served. So again, there's many different safeguards in place at each stage of the user journey that allows us to control that.
Yeah, and there's some great ways, and I think Stephen touched upon it earlier, and I saw it in one of the slides around, we can actually create some excitement and some FOMO around the campaigns as well.
Yeah.
We can have a countdown timer or a ticker.
Countdown, number of redemption, those sort of things.
Exactly. So short answer is yes, there's lots of controls that we can put in place to, I guess essentially protect the budget that's been put in place for the campaign. Okay, great questions. Which retailers can activate Savi? Can we activate Savi campaigns in? So depends whether we're talking about paper or mobile. If it's paper coupons can be essentially redeemed pretty much in all retailers. Mobile ones, Helen, you covered off earlier.
Yep. So we've got the whole Tesco main estate, the whole Tesco Express estate, Morrison's main estate, Co-op, the blue fascias, and then we have a proportion of the Londy's budgies.
Well, you can redeem budgies.
You can redeem anything.
Oh, okay, all right.
Londy's budgies and Premier as well. And then there's other things that we can do with other retailers that don't involve coupons. There's things like cashbacks. There's things like
There's Horeca as well, right?
Gift cards. Yeah, we also do for specific campaigns. So it would be on a campaign by campaign basis.
What is Horeca?
Horeca, thank you for asking, is hotels, restaurants, and cafes.
Right.
What we did for the Coke campaign, they were in ZZ's. They could redeem in a ZZ restaurant. They could redeem in Stonegate pubs. So there were 600 odd pubs around the country that could redeem, and then I think somewhere like Giraffe as well. individual campaigns on a campaign basis. So if you're a booze company and you want to give away a pint in a pub, come to us and talk to us, and we'll progress that conversation.
I would love to see, what I would love to see next, honestly, is a location-based campaign. Our location dynamic campaigns, location campaigns, literally just tell you on that screen where your local store, retailer, food outlet is, minutes away or meters away. So how successful is our location campaign on a percentage basis? How much footfall does it drive?
Oh, so
Increased footfall.
as I said, it can be anything up to kind of 72% we've witnessed for some categories.
So if you get a footfall of 72% in terms of increase in footfall in those stores, and you add on a coupon as well,
Fancy a pint to just go around the
or
corner.
an extra leg, an extra chicken leg, then yes, I'd love that. Is super powerful. So I'd love to see a client do that. Is there any more questions?
There is. They
Okay.
keep coming through.
Go then.
This one's for Do. Does do.com book the media directly, or do our media agencies need to be involved? But need to be involved / book in the normal process.
Stephen.
So yeah, this is just book through the media agencies in a normal process. It's best for us to be involved again, as we went through. There's some specific environment perspectives that need to be considered, just to make sure that those screens are arrived in the right place. But again, we can assist with that, and then yeah, it's booked as normal. There's no special booking process or anything like that. There are some media owner limitations. So some of the more dynamic capabilities, things like Connect, for example, are currently only available with JCDecaux. So there are some kind of media owner considerations, but again, that depends on the sort of dynamic capabilities and what the campaign requirements are.
Do you just clarify what Connect is again?
So Connect is where we're able to trigger instantly on-screen reactions. So when you scan a kind of welcome message or acknowledgement message appears on screen, it's essentially a direct control of that screen. And not all media owners have that capability. So again, if that's something that you do desire as part of the campaign, we just need to sort of guide in the direction of who can accommodate those different technical requirements.
So for clarification, Redeem can be used. You don't need Connect for Redeem. Redeem is a way that we surface a QR code and have control over that QR code and the linear messaging that goes with it. Connect is a scale up from there, as if you want to take live control of that screen and have a deeper brand engagement, something that can offer more creative rewards, if you like.
Mhm.
Another one. This one's for Helen.
Okay.
Really putting her on the spot.
Cool, we like that.
How would you suggest setting up a campaign for a brand with a smaller budget and a targeted shopper? For example, parents of children under the age of 6.
Parents of children, are they allowed to advertise parents of children under the age of 6?
Yeah.
So we can cater for all budgets, and we do a lot of mobile campaigns for challenger brands. It would be about setting, and what we've got is a really nice calculator that works out for you how many, what's your budget and how many coupons you can have available, and what we estimate your redemption rates would be, and we work that all out for you, and we can do that within your budget. What I would suggest is to be very targeted, to understand, and I imagine that you guys would understand who your shopper is, where they shop, and target it specifically into that specific retailer rather than trying to do a broad brush. Potentially doing a social campaign, that's finding an influencer, doing a social campaign that way. You don't need to do, sorry, do.com, you don't need to do always big out of home activations. But obviously, you know, they're
but if you want to feed the funnel, then you do. But you don't always need to know.
But yes, I suppose the question would be, come and talk to us, and then we can advise on what we can help you with, and how many coupons could be made available within your budget. I hope that helps.
And where to distribute them.
Any more?
Yes.
Any more? Oh, I think another one's just come in. Oh, thanks for answering the question.
Well, that was it. Well, thanks for answering the question. I did say that if you wanted to open your microphone, you can ask a question. Let's do that. Well, God, just yeah. So, any more questions? Anyone wants to open their mic and speak away? If not,
Are we sending out the deck? Yes, we will. We'll send out.
We'll send out the deck.
Post the webinar.
There'll be a recording of this as well. So when Helen did talk about redeeming budgies, you can find that on
You're
there
gonna
as
snip
well.
that, aren't you?
I'm not gonna forget it, honestly.
Minutes ago now.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it so much. We're going to give you 5 minutes back. But any more questions, reach out to Savi, reach out to do.com, and we can answer them for you. But this is a truly exciting moment in out of home. I never thought in 10 years of running this company that we would be able to be so effectual and get so many direct results with redemption. So we know that out of home's trusted. We know that we can take live control of it, and now we know that we can drive consumers who are on their mobile phones to literally take action straight away after they see a wonderful offer on out of home. So yeah, let's see what wonderful briefs and questions you come back with.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, team.
Until next time.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.